I think I need
There you go. Now you're there. You're good.
I,
I was like, there's nothing.
nothing. Not nothing. Amazing that you have to add y'all to the
I
stream.
was like, it
But once again,
helps a little
welcome
bit.
to an adventure with Moffat on Money, and as we explore the technical issues and intricacies of live broadcasting. Seriously,
Because
glad
we're
to see you.
professionals.
Appreciate you joining us. Quad E, sorry I'll catch the replay. We miss you, but look forward to seeing you maybe
Quaddy,
Tuesday night.
the whole reason we're doing this is for you, Quaddy. So I'm just
Can't believe
saying.
you're not here. You're leaving
I'm a
us hanging.
little, I'm a little disappointed. You're fine.
But welcome anyway. Ought to be kind of an interesting night. Couple of things are going to be vastly different.
Yeah. Oh, I should probably put this a little closer. Should I not? Is that
Much
better?
better.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Technical difficulty there.
We're professionals.
We're professionals. We're
Hey,
just getting
Gail.
warmed up to this. Hey, Crazy Cat, Queen, and Gail. Good to see you. Like I was saying, a couple of new things tonight. One,
Hey, Melissa.
is that, hey, Melissa. One is that
Yes.
the bulk of the show will be carried by E-Train. So you won't have to listen to me all night long. How much of a joy is that?
However, I'm terrified, but we'll get through it.
You know, in all honesty, you're really lucky because there are a few people that I've seen or known that know as much about that particular topic she's going to cover tonight, Medicare, as Ellen. She has helped hundreds of people, and you won't find anyone any better. So
That's
look
very
forward to
sweet.
that part tonight. I get to sit back and chill. And Catherine Fraser. Wow.
WAP. I don't even know what to say about that. I know what it means in a song, but I'm not sure.
That's
I don't
all I
think
can
Catherine
think of.
means that. I know, right? I'm
Yeah,
like,
so
all right then.
Not sure what to say that. Vastly. I don't know what I said, but absolutely. Vastly.
Yeah, you said vastly different because I'm going to be presenting and you're going to be like, okay. One thing y'all should know, we are professionals. Exactly, Catherine. When I am presenting, I have one screen. Clay has two. So when I'm presenting, I will not be able to see the questions that are coming up, even popping up on the screen, because I'm just going to be sharing my screen. So Clay is going to have to interject and interrupt me and ask the questions that you guys are asking, because I will not be able to see. Why am I terrified? I know. I know. Like Pepsi or others, like my.
First things first, we are professionals. I think I love that. WAP. That might just stick
Got
around.
it. Thank you.
I need to come up with an emoji. That ought to be an emoji on the on the show.
Mm-hmm.
We are professionals.
And I do. Oh.
Ellen, why are you terrified? You're among friends. Just think you're talking over drinks like vodka or scotch or tequila or
apple whiskey and Sprite is what I've got right now. Just to,
no kidding. She drinks some of the nastiest stuff.
It's actually really good. It's
apple
Devil's
whiskey.
Sister.
Why ruin a good whiskey? I don't understand.
It's called Devil's Sister. It's a Granny Smith apple whiskey, which is a little bit sour. And with some Sprite Zero. It's good
Nasty
stuff.
as hell, but
no, it's actually really good. Highly recommend it.
Ellen, not Sarah Lee. Clay will be your assistant tonight, and you think that's any different than any other night? How?
Yeah. Both of you have a point, and I'm not getting in the middle of it. I'm just going to say that.
Well, that's all right. We're looking forward to it. And I kid you not, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm excited. I'm going to kick back, put my legs up on the desk here, and just kind of chill.
You
I am
better pay
going to
attention to
be
questions.
so
You better,
relaxed.
you got to be all up in the chat because I won't be able to see a damn thing. Apparently, you can say damn on YouTube before the 2 hour thing, but you can't say the SHIT word. So
Hell if I know.
I don't know. I apologize for the, God, that's so embarrassing. I see Medicare, how do navigate. I was either going to put to navigate the website or how do I, and apparently I couldn't decide. And so I left it as a really stupid, crazy, not.
Okay. One
My
thing,
English sucks.
Ellen,
Yes.
nobody
Hmm.
knows what the hell you're talking about.
Look
Two,
below you.
Crazy Cat Queen.
Well, not that,
We are
but
professionals. Emily came up with that so we could say WAP as an inside joke.
well, that's cool.
Should I ask who Emily is? Would that be rude?
Emily D. Baker.
I think I've heard of her before.
You really?
Catherine chiming in. She had a WAP rainbow fan.
I did see that. Yep.
That's interesting. Yeah, Ellen is much more versed in the YouTube community than I am. I have my interest in my job and my stuff that I pay attention to, and she has hers. So I will lean on her understanding and wisdom in that particular area. Brentwood Chic. Hi, y'all. Big storms here. Power out. I'll have to be replay crew. Sorry to hear that. We will miss you. Hope
Yeah.
the storms, hope the power is restored soon. Hope the storms are no big deal. Just a lot of rain. I saw where where it was moving up the panhandle and western coast of Florida. We should get some of that rain later in the week. Honestly, we need it, but be saying a little prayer for you, thinking of you. And yes,
Ma'am.
definitely stay safe. Second big thing that's a little different.
What's that?
Tonight, for the first time,
You're monetized.
We can offer memberships and super chats. Now, we're not expecting y'all to do anything, requiring y'all to do anything. We love you regardless. But again, for us, it's a big step. It's a big goal. It was a big goal. We got here a year early. So we are thankful and excited for that. Also, want to ask your help. And this is a big fat marker I'm shaking at you.
Yeah. Put that down. That's awful.
Well, I'm used to when I'm talking to my kid. Our first
Crazy Cat Queen.
new member.
Thank you. Yay.
We will love you forever. Really, that's very kind. Thank you.
Oh, Brentwood Chic, we got another one. Oh,
okay, y'all are going to make me blush here. Seriously.
That's so sweet. Yes, Crazy Cat Queen, you are the first.
I'm used to talking with something in my hands.
Put that damn thing down.
If a student starts nodding out or not paying attention or looking at their phone, I will literally bean them right in the noggin with the marker. So I'm always carrying something and using it to talk and to threaten.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Clay, I'm not even going to tell you what that looks like to me. Well, it is yellow. Okay. I will put it down in the side. Oh, Catherine, you get a pass if you're a member, right? Absolutely. You get anything you want. Our eternal love, devotion, appreciation, gratitude, encouragement, cheering, fellowship, kindness. Ellen, your turn.
You pretty much covered everything. Oh, and Melissa. Oh, Brentwood. Dag nabbit. Y'all got to stop doing that. But hey, go, Melissa. Woo, congratulations. Thank you. KP
Yes,
Slate,
thank you, definitely.
memberships, Brentwood, Dag nabbit. Thank
You know,
you.
I'm not used to this. This is really very, very different. But I really appreciate the thought and the sentiment. I really do. Y'all are just very, very kind.
Yeah, Clay thought I was crazy when I told him that he actually had knowledge that people could use and know and love. So this is like something so foreign to him. He's just like, why would anyone watch me on YouTube? I'm like,
Yeah,
well,
this is
because you're you and you have lots of knowledge and it's useful knowledge, and people should, of course, pay attention to that. That's a good thing.
well, well, they also watch you. And a lot of people are here because of you. You made,
Oh,
the relationships, they, grew to love you, trust you, saw you on some of the LawTube channels and thought they'd give it a try. So let's give some credit where credit is due.
well, you're sweet.
I'm honest.
I think you have to be on the actual interwebs and not on your phone or iPad, or you have to be like on, I don't even know, all the Google Safari, all the web browser.
Yeah, you
We
have to.
don't,
Yeah,
yeah, we're not cool enough to get a join button yet. Well, hopefully we'll get there. But yeah.
yeah. I think it's something that's only on a full service browser. So I think you have to
Hmm.
be on a regular computer with a regular browser, Chrome, Firefox, Edge. But really, thank
Edge.
y'all very much. You've just made my whole night, our whole night.
Yes.
I think it's a little bit more of a surprise to me than it is to Ellen, but
Yes.
and also want to be honest in terms of setting up the memberships. We talked to a couple people, got some ideas of what we ought to do and offer where and the price. You know, our the high price is less than what we saw others, pretty a good bit less than what we saw most others charging. Some of those I thought were just crazy. Um, and then we tried to offer, some pertinent benefit at each different level. But we're new to this. I'm very new to this, obviously. So if y'all have some constructive criticisms, suggestions, or whatever, email us, moffatonmoney@gmail.com.
Aw.
Thank you,
Thank
Melissa.
you.
Really, very
And
much
we are going
appreciate
to
it.
get to your video. I swear I can't make Clay do it. He's done them twice and it just
Three
wasn't
times.
all, yeah, 3 times. Yeah. And yeah. And then he was
And
like,
part of
okay, we're not going to do it
the
now.
problem is
We
I'm
will do
also,
it.
yes, we will do it soon. Trying to do some shorts as well, but StreamYard doesn't allow some of the camera effects and other things that I want. Now, we don't have a producer or, haven't contracted out with media people to make everything slick and polished, but we're trying to improve things a little bit. And so having some technical difficulties recording with StreamYard, but yet doing some of the artistic things that we want to do, they're not that complex. They're not that difficult. It's just StreamYard doesn't allow it, doesn't do it. So we have to do it in something else, do part of it in something else, do part of it in StreamYard, and then use
Hmm.
different Adobe products for different components to put it all together.
I do love
And
Adobe.
yeah, it's just a little bit complex and out of my bailiwick.
KP.
So am learning about some of the software as we try to get some of these issues solved.
Thank you, KP.
Thank you,
Oh, and
KP. Thank you,
Nutrix. Oh my
Nutrix.
goodness. Y'all. Oh,
Y'all are just very gracious. Thank you.
thank you.
Um, and we love y'all too very much. Yet we would, I'm being honest. We would still do this even if we weren't, because it's been a fun year. It's been a year of learning for us, but it's been a fun year, and feel like we have met some really, really very genuine, very good people. Ellen obviously communicates with them via text, or, phone or whatever. Uh, and I haven't, but she's always, filling me in, saying I talked to so and so today, and she doesn't tell me what all was said, but if somebody needs some good karma, needs a prayer, a long distance hug, some kind of help or whatever, that we try. So thank you all.
We're always trying to, we got a request for a phone for someone, and I have KP, dag nabbit. Thank you.
Thank you.
And
it is an exciting moment for us.
It is. And, I reached out to everybody that I knew. And finally, today, we have a phone for one of the people that we love. And we're just happy that it came. And, grateful to God that it was, the blessing was, sorry, go ahead, fulfilled.
No, I was just going to say, we refer to this as a family. And, we want to try to help, encourage, cheer, support, whatever, whenever we can, however we can. And now, I don't know if y'all know or remember, but Ellen was the driving force behind raising the monies for Secret, both to provide some in her last days. She really had trouble doing things by herself and needed some extra support, but she couldn't afford it. So that started that particular fund. And when she passed, there wasn't money for her burial. Nobody was responsible for her burial. So, again, Ellen played a pretty big role in coordinating that and putting that together. Now, had some help from, for example, I think Ian gave one of his nights of super chats,
streaming, and
streaming income, and ask everybody, instead of doing that, to donate it to Secrets Fund, and that pushed her over the top. So a lot of other people had big contributions, but the driving force in getting that started, that was Ellen. And that's just, one, the kind of person she is, and two, that's just kind of the channel we want to be. Now, obviously, we don't have the means, the ability, the reach, the network to help everybody. But we encourage people where there are little things that can be done, even if it's just words of encouragement. We want to do that. Obviously, we'll always be willing to say a prayer. And if there's something constructive we can do, we'll try to do that as well. So we really mean it when we say y'all are like a little family to us.
You and I support Underground Railroad, which is, and we have for a long time, which is Tim Ballard's foundation to help rescue children. This is, I don't know if y'all can see that. God's children are not for sale. I bought this on his website. I think it's like $25. And, it's just a reminder. It's just a reminder that you don't get to mess with kids. and it helps support them getting saved. We do
Yeah,
little things, but go ahead.
there's a lot of evil in the world, and for too long now, I think most everybody can normally agree sex trafficking is evil.
Hmm.
But really, until the movie, most people really never thought about it.
Nope.
Um, I've known, supported OUR for, I don't know, 15 years, and
Hmm.
they have never gotten the amount of attention or support broadly. Now, they've had a few significant donors that have funded a lot of their operations.
I like Tony Robbins and Glenn Beck.
Beck, yeah,
Hmm.
his foundation.
Hmm.
So part of it is, trying to keep some of these major things in front of people so that we can be a little bit more aware where we have opportunity to do some good to encourage it. If it's like Gail says, if we all worked on doing the little things, the world would be a better place. So that's always going to be kind of a focus, or matter of some attention on this broadcast, on this channel. So we don't realize how blessed we are. We've been given much in this country. And so if we, sometimes I think people look so much to government to take care of the problems and deal with the inequalities and the pain and the suffering, when we can do it better, more efficiently as individuals and as a community. So,
Well, that's not a very good lead up to Medicare.
no, but it's still a simple truth. Now, before we get into Medicare, there's just a couple things I wanted to review with you, if I could, about stuff going on in the universe or the world that may be of particular interest to you. Whoops, not ready for that. Talk about. I need like a drum roll. Talk about housing. Housing's been a big issue of interest to a number of you. The supply of homes, I saw this week where the supply of homes is down 75% from its peak, lowest point since 2007. Now, keep that in mind, 2007. Mortgage demand, which is what I just flashed up here, is at its lowest point since 1995. Okay. And you can kind of understand why. 90% of the existing mortgages are 3.2% and below.
Wait.
And
You
people
said
are
since
like,
95.
yes, mortgage demand.
Okay, because I recall in 2006, 2007, it was very high because you could get it without. So why is that? I'm confused.
Well, interest rates right now for a mortgage, the national average on mortgage rates is about 7.4%.
No, I meant but 95, but I remember, like I said, and maybe that's that dip. I can't, you don't see what I'm pointing at. The dip there.
No, this area right in here is 08.
Hmm.
This is 07.
Where's
This
95?
is 04, 5, and 6.
Where's 95?
Yeah, does that make sense?
Where's 95? Yeah.
95 is
You said
this
90.
tip right here.
Well, shit.
And
Okay.
here's where we are. So we're at the lowest since late 95.
Because you can't expect me to read those tiny little numbers at the bottom of the screen. That's just not going to happen.
Zoom, baby, zoom. Pull
I
that puppy
can't.
in.
Wish I
Go.
could.
Yeah.
I can't. Not on
All right.
StreamYard.
Not on StreamYard.
Mm-mm.
So mortgage demand is crashed. Obviously, with the high rates, people who don't have an existing mortgage, they think that's just shockingly high because they're used to 3, 4, maybe up to 5%. For people that do have mortgages, like I say, at 3.25 and below, there's no way in hell they want to surrender that mortgage and get a 7.5% mortgage. They're like, you're going to have to pry my mortgage from my cold, dead hands. They're just not going to give it up. Now, to give you an idea of what's going on in the market, last year there were 4 million homes offered and 4 million sold. Well, so far this year, there's been 1 million for sale and 4 million potential buyers.
Well, there's one
Prices.
that,
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I thought I caught a pause there. There was one that burned down today in Carolina Beach.
Yep. And that happens all over. Prices are down about 14% for new homes, which is kind of fascinating because new homes usually sell for more than older homes. But now they're selling less than old homes because people with existing mortgages just aren't selling their house. First time in decades. Demand is crashing because the cost to buy a new home is now about $2,800 a month. To give you some idea, this graph looks at the yellow is the average mortgage price, monthly mortgage price. Now, the little peak you see right here is kind of cool because that's when mortgage rates got up to 18%. Don't know if you remember that, but 18%.
Mm-hmm.
It came back down. The teal line is monthly rent for an apartment. But what really grabs your attention is this right here. The monthly cost to buy a house. Since 2020, it's gone from about $1,400 to $2,800, round numbers. That's in 3 years. Huge jump. 20, 21, 22. Huge jump.
Clay,
Ma'am?
is your door shut?
Yes.
Okay, because
Can you hear the
Chunky's
dogs
quiet.
crying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the dogs won't in.
Let's get to Medicare. You get the dogs in.
Okay, well,
How's that
let me
sound?
finish one thing real quick.
Okay.
I want to show you this. This, don't know if many of you will recognize it, is
Is it a
Jimmy
Tudor?
Buffett's house.
Is it a Tudor or a 4-door?
I don't know the style. You're asking the wrong person for that. But
That was
this is
actually a
Warren
joke.
Buffett's house. He paid $31,500 for it in 1958. He calls it Buffett's Folly. He calls his own house, the purchase of his own house, Buffett's Folly. Because if he had invested that money instead, he would have an additional $2.5 billion. 65 years, he's averaged 19% per year, which is tragic. He spent $31,000, could have had $2.5 billion. I mean, the dude missed his opportunity right there at fame and fortune. But now, this is the opportunity cost. Some of y'all were concerned because, you or maybe friends or family were, trying to buy a house and were concerned about the timing, when and where. So I just offered this to you as an encouragement that sometimes paying rent is not a horrible situation. I know buying a house is normal and it gives people a sense of pride and security. Just pointing out the alternative economically may be oftentimes actually a better economic alternative. Okay. All
Nutrix
right.
got my joke.
What joke? You told a joke?
The two-door or four-door?
Okay.
Tudor or four-door?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. My turn, babe. Now I get to shut you out. I will, like I said before, I will not be able to see you guys. I will not be able to see your comments. Clay will interrupt me when he thinks, well, when y'all tell him he thinks he should for questions, because I have one screen. I'm going to share it, and we're going to start talking about Medicare.
Yeah, I will be doing the modding. I'm going to take a second here and go encourage the dogs to be quiet. I will
Why
be
don't you
back
just
shortly
encourage them to hang out with you?
because they will be endlessly irritating.
No, just you don't have to do. You cut your mic off. You don't have to do a thing, except for questions, because I won't be able to see him shortly. Hi. All right. Medicare. Medicare is a lovely U.S. government program where if you are 65 or older, technically it starts when you're 65, or have been on disability for, okay, for 24 months or 2 years. Okay, railroad is a whole different ballgame. We're not even going to go there. So, Medicare, 65 years old or older. Why I say or older is, I mean, you're qualified for Part A when you are 65 years old. The only reason you may not take Medicare when you are 65 is because you may still be working with a job that has great health insurance. And I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted. If you have great health insurance or your spouse has great health insurance and you are 65 or older and you still have it, then you're good. Keep it. Don't worry about it. However, in order to get Part A, you have to have 40 work credits, which is a max of 4 credits per year and 1 credit per $1,640 per quarter, which so you can only get four credits per year, 4 quarters per year. So you have to earn $1,640 per quarter and paid FICA taxes on each of those. So you can't be like self-employed and hide money and not pay taxes and do that. That won't work. That's not how this works. If you don't, that will pay for your Part A. If you don't qualify under those circumstances, then your Part A can be up to or $278. This is for 2003 or 2023. $278 or $506 a month, depending on how many work credits you do have. Now, Part B for 2023 is $164.90 or more. Let's look at that. Hang on, I'm getting there. I'm not as savvy at this as you are.
It's just a matter of having your face kicked in.
Stop it.
Mine
I'm trying to figure out which
has
one
been
this.
kicked in
How do
plenty.
I know? No. It's not that one. It's not that one. It's none of these. This one. There we go. All right. So, if your yearly income in 2021 for what you pay in 2023 was If you made $97,000 or less, if you're single, you'll pay $164.90 per month for Part B. If it is above single, you can read all the different things. If it's above 97,000 up to 123, you pay 230.80 per month. If it's above 123 up to 153, 329, and as you see, it goes and goes and goes, right? So the most you're going to pay is 560.50 if you're paying five, or if you're making half a million or more per year.
Ellen, let me just
Yes.
throw this in that I know to
Hmm.
everyone this Medicare is maybe not the most dynamic topic, and Ellen is trying to point out, some very specific things. But
He's
if
saying
you're
I suck
about
at
to
this.
retire, or if you have a family member on welfare, this really
Welfare.
can be
Okay.
very, very important information to know and to help, you or your family members try to make sure they've got the coverage and learn to shop it to try to keep the cost down as far as possible every year, every other year. So
And
anything the
it's,
government does is not going to be exciting, but I promise you this is valuable information.
to me, it's a simple
And
topic, but okay.
Catherine has a question. She asked, is there any real benefit to tying medical insurance to work?
It depends. Everything I'm going to say, it depends. Like I don't know each of you individually, and I don't know exactly what you're getting from your work versus what the government could give you versus what you could get elsewhere. So it is I mean, I'm trying to simplify a very complicated topic, and it's very complicated. I mean, but it's not. And it's just all of the, I know it makes no sense, but
It is, but it's not.
it's all the little different things that people have going on in their lives that can make a world of difference, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Like
and
even
she'll
something small can change everything. But this is just like the generic version of what you should expect or do, or, and I know I suck at this. I am so nervous right now, like I
no,
said,
you're
but
doing fine. Let me take a shot at this question for just a second.
mhm.
Is there any real benefit to tying medical insurance to work? I actually think that ultimately has been harmful to the consumer, to the employees, to the people, because it has inserted a middleman in the relationship between the doctor and the patient. Used to be, doctors lived in middle class neighborhoods. They would make house calls. If you didn't have money to pay them, you could bake them a cake, mow their grass, do whatever. Well, nowadays, once doctors and I remember I worked my way through school in surgery, med school for a year, and there was this orthopod who was walking down the hall with him and his assistant one day, and he kind of nudged his assistant and said, "I paid for you today, the whole year. Um, did 6 surgeries, orthopedic surgeries, and he paid for his essay for the whole year." And the reason they don't do house calls is because they found out that they can make tons of money serving poor people. Whereas before they would do it maybe pro bono, now they're able to charge. So the more people they can process, it led to the assembly line. Also, insurance companies have gotten to the point where they tell doctors what they can and can't do, what they can and can't prescribe, which drugs can they prescribe. And so it's just giving insurance companies an inordinate amount of power. So I think there's some major reformation work involved or needed, but that's a topic for a different day.
All right, let me get to this real quick. You're on disability, track here. Never, ever, 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 ever let anyone tell you get off track here. Ever. You have probably, besides my grandfather, I talked about where his max out of pocket is $1,000, which is crazy. But that was in '84 when he got that deal. But don't ever let anyone take you off track here. They will try. Don't let them do it. You can get policies that are supplemental to track here. But well, it shouldn't affect track here at all. But it depends on exactly where you live and what zip code you're in and all the things. So, but seriously, don't ever get off track here.
Catherine, I'm Canadian, so this doesn't really apply to me, but I'm very curious because our current provincial government wants big changes in healthcare. I'm just not a fan of people intervening in the relationship between me and my doctor. I think it should be simple, straightforward, and I would prefer insurance just handle catastrophic deals. I mean, I just had some lab work done, blood test run, and the labs charge $1,800. The insurance company paid 108, and it's like they'll take that. You know, our whole pricing thing. The more government gets involved in anything, the more complex and opaque it gets. So I'm not a fan. So whatever that's worth. Got one couple of comments by Gail. Ellen,
I
it's just a
know.
few of us sitting and chatting about a topic you have knowledge about.
Y'all don't understand my social anxiety. I mean, I can get on here and just like give shit to Clay and I'm fine.
She just got us
Okay.
banned off YouTube.
Oh, I did say the SH word. Damn it. Dag nabbit. Okay. If I get, you can get licensed in Florida. I assume you mean for like health insurance? Dude, it's easy. I think that's what you mean. Or doctor. What is it? Because you're both. Like you're a doctor on this. I'm so confused. Anyway,
The
all right.
crowd
Again,
chants for more.
I know, right? All right. So
All
you
right,
pay
back to Medicare.
164 a month Part B if you make under $100,000. Else, I can put the link of the thing in the thing. You have three options. You've got original Medicare, which basically pays 80% of almost everything. But you're still left with 20. But 20% of a $500,000 surgery, Clay, is 100 and you're not listening to me at all. 20% of
20% of how
500,000 is
much?
$100,000. $500,000
20% of
surgery.
$100,000 is
No,
20,000.
a $500,000 surgery.
Is 100,000.
Okay, 100, that's what I thought. Because five times 20 is 100. Okay, gotcha. All right. Anyway, so you have to like understand if you go with just original Medicare, meaning you pay Part A, don't have to pay MD licensed. Why can't you get MD licensed? I'm so confused. Yeah, you would never have to cook again. Anyway, I don't understand. Okay, anyway, we'll get there. All right, so original Medicare, and you get 20 days completely covered if you're in a rehab facility, physical, occupational, whatever it is. Then you pay $20 a day after that. And let me tell you, if you don't get better, they pay nothing. If you're not improving, Medicare is like, sorry, bye, see ya. It's all on you. Okay. So that's original Medicare. Medicare supplement, you pay a monthly premium, which is like around $100 on top of your 164 or more, depending on how much you make, but the sup is around $100. when you turn 65 or when you're eligible to get a sub, if you have insurance with your company or your spouse's company after you turn 65, as soon as that is gone, that's when the med sup can kick in, and you just say, hey, I want to do a med sup. You don't have to qualify, no questions, you're just on it. $100. So we're talking like 275 maybe a month for your entire health care, and you don't pay any copays, you don't pay anything. Everything is covered except for your drugs. And that's where you have to do a Part D, which is just your drug coverage. I'm going out of order, Clay, I know. Let me
You
do
okay?
this. So this is
While
Medicare.
you do that, let me throw out Catherine's comment. I haven't paid a thing in decades, and I've had regular and sometimes emergency medical attention. Current government wants to focus on emergency care and privatize the rest.
Okay.
I, I've traveled around the world, and I've actually used healthcare in different places. And I remember one time I fell down the the subway at King's Crossing in London, which is a 5 stories high escalator. And so I was coming down that thing like a damn bowling ball, a wrecking ball. Cracked open my skull, was bleeding and whatever. So took me to the hospital. I don't know, after 5, 6 hours, I started coming to, and they asked me to put my code in my phone. Couldn't do it. Couldn't remember it. So they kept me there and kept doing, test of, it's kind of like a DUI test, but they're trying to test whether or not I'm losing some brain function, because they didn't have an MRI. And once I came to my wits a little bit better, they said, well, there's one MRI in the city that you can go to. The waiting list is around 24 to 36 hours. And with my background, I knew they were concerned about a subdural hematoma. And if I had, one developing, that, I would be dead in a few hours. That's why they were coming in and checking me so regularly. So that wasn't an option. Said there are several private ones around that you can go and pay for. And I said, if he said, gave me the alternative of just staying there and going through the physical exam every hour for 5 more hours. I said, well, I'll just go ahead and do that. Now, they didn't charge me anything when I left. I asked him if they needed my insurance or wanted to pay. He said, it's too much trouble. Go ahead and go. Which, is kind of a comment in and of itself. But the idea is that, when the government is paying for everything, there's a lot of things it chooses not to afford. That's how they save money. It's like when Natalie Wood had an accident skiing in Canada. Every major ski resort in the U.S. has an MRI and a neurosurgeon nearby. This one didn't. She needed a 4 hour helicopter ride. I think it was 2 hour helicopter ride. I believe it was 2 hours. And by the time she arrived, she was dead. If she'd been in the U.S., she would have still been alive. Now, each MRI cost $1 million, probably more now. So that's not cheap. Also, in terms of drug research, a lot of countries, like one of the directors of Britain's NHS died after being diagnosed with cancer for 6 months because they couldn't get the cancer drugs. That wouldn't be a problem in the U.S. So there are trade-offs. Maybe we need to have a night and talk about healthcare cost, government privatization, whatever. But
one thing about having a Medicare supplement, which I even forgot to put in my notes, is that if you're sick, let's say that you have cancer, one of the best cancer hospitals in the United States is in Texas. Well, if you're on like an Advantage plan where it is a localized plan in your region, you can't do that. If you do, you have to pay all out of pocket. If you have a Medicare supplement, doesn't matter where you are in the United States or where you want to go, As long as they take Medicare, you're covered 100%. Period. There are no other costs. There's nothing else you have to do. The only thing you have to worry about is your meds. And that is, I mean, when you're paying $100 a month extra for medical insurance on top of your Part B, that's not a lot to ask. Where you can go to Cedars-Sinai, or you can go to Johns Hopkins, or you can go to wherever in the world you want to, or the United States you want to go to. They also cover up to $50,000 international. So if something happens to you, they will pay, when you're out. Or I'm getting an echo. Do you hear that?
I did not.
Okay. When you're out of the country, they have $50,000 that they will pay to get you back into the United States to get proper medical care. And that's, I think that's a lifetime. But they don't expect you to live that long. But anyway. Yeah, MRI is about 20,000. Yeah. Listen, I was in Switzerland, and I went canyoning, which is kind of like whitewater rafting on foot. I am dating myself, but back in the 90s. And I dislocated my shoulder jumping off a waterfall. Shocking. The guide jerked it back into place, and then they took me to the ER in Switzerland, and I had x-rays, whole nine. Doctors, they didn't speak a lick of English, but after like 6 hours there, all of the consultations, the sling they put me in, the x-rays, everything was $187. That would have cost a lot more back then in the US.
Yeah, one point with Crazy Cat Queen, MRIs now cost around
Mm-hmm.
$2,000. I was talking about the equipment itself, the machine itself. They used to cost $1 million, $1.5 million, including the installation. Now I think they've been able to downsize them some. Probably the price has dropped. Can't say I've shopped around lately, but at the time,
Really?
it's been a little while. Though having a home MRI would be kind of cool.
Okay. Whatever you say.
All right, with Medicare,
All
continue
right,
on.
Medicare. Sorry, y'all. I'm all over the place. All right, so wait, I'm not sharing, Emma. Hang on. Whoops. Present. There I am.
I just want everyone to know who's struggling with the technology here.
I have never done this before. All right, so here is your Medicare.gov website, right? This is the thing. All right, so you want to go to Find Health and Drug Plans.
This is the big site.
This is the site. So we're going to put in a zip code. We're going to put in, I guess, our zip code. Continue. Let's just look for Part D medications. Let's just say I don't get any help from any of these programs. Do you want to see your, oh, heck yeah, I do. Next. So we're going to put in some drugs. This is how you shop for a drug plan. You go to Medicare.gov, do exactly what I just did. And then we're going to put in, because this is the most common drugs that I found when I was filling insurance.
Let me add this, is that Ellen is doing this because depending on the medications you take or your family member takes, your cost between different plans will vary.
Mm-hmm.
Costs are, you're better off entering in your particular drugs.
This is the only way. This is how we do it. This is the best way to find out. This is how actually we do it in the insurance company. Like we go in and we're just like, okay, well, let's just put your drugs into Medicare.gov and find out your best deal. 1,000 milligram tablets. So we're going to do 30. Well, actually, we're going to do, let's buy that up, 90. Because if you do every 3 months, it's often a lot cheaper. So it's one a day. And then we're going to do, let's say, let's say you're depressed. Oops, it's not typing a thing, is it? That is the problem with this website. I have found, let's do Lexapro, add drug. And we're going to add the generic that gives you that option. We're going to do 40 milligrams. Oh, 20 milligrams. And we're going to do, okay, 90 every 3 months. Add to my drug list. Add another drug. I know we talked about some last night, Clay. I can't remember what they all were.
Statins are common, like
okay, so
rosuvastatin.
let's
Rosuvastatin.
ROS.
Yeah.
Rosava. No.
ROSU.
Okay. Rosuvastatin calcium. Let's just say the minimum amount, and we're going to do 90 every 3 months is always the cheapest way to go. I know it sounds weird. Then we're going to do, let's do, sorry, y'all. I'm just, let's do lorazepam. Why not? Add drug. And we will do just for fun.
Like omeprazole or lisinopril.
Okay.
Levothyroxine.
We're going to do lorazepam, 1 milligram tablet, 30 every 2 months, because people don't often use that every day. And your next one was what?
Omeprazole, OMEPRA.
I know. Let's delay release. We're going to do 40.
The reason we're doing this is because a lot of retirees have a combination of drugs they take. So this is a little tedious, granted.
All right. So we're going to just do those, which is, listen, when I would go into somebody's house, I would do like, I could have 15 drugs. I mean, that was not uncommon. Done adding drugs. Now, that's my zip code. And then I am going to choose pharmacies. Always choose the Mellon pharmacy. Always. Wait, where's that? Mellon. CVS. We'll do Walgreens. Harris Teeter is always great. And then if you can, do Publix. If it's here. Yep. Because you only get so many. Done. Okay. So WellCare. Your monthly premium would be $11.10. Deductible is $505. Now, what you can do is plan details. Total monthly premium. Okay, your total drug costs in 2023, this is what you want to look at right here, is $66.40. That's what you're going to pay. for the entire year. That is the best piece of information you need because that is including your premium. That is including any deductibles, anything. Right?
That's your total cost.
Yes. Preferred in network. Here are your medications, your drug costs by pharmacy, and what they will cost you yearly, yearly. Mail order is more expensive, which is hardly ever how that works out, but that's okay. Um, yeah. So there you go.
And this is the benefit of the tedium. It's showing you the cost at every drug and allows you to pick out the cheapest and
Hmm.
keep your prices at a minimum. So yeah, it's kind of
And
tedious to go through that step,
but if you're looking at
but
like
it's very valuable.
2024, this doesn't mean anything because they change their formularies every September. And so nothing that I just looked up right now will be valid for next year. Nothing. Which is sad because
You
they
have to go
change it
redo it every September.
well, you should redo it like every December because your drug plan is January to December.
Okay.
So after October, you can go ahead and look and see, what are next year's drug plans going to be like? What are my expenses for that? Now, if you were going to do, let's just say, which unless you have to, unless it is just too expensive to do a Medicare supplement, I would always, 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 always do a supplement. But if you can't, okay, let's just do because let's health and drug plans. This is an advantage. We already did all this. You should remember this. Okay.
And I'll say this while Ellen is fiddling around with that, she would, oftentimes go into people's houses, do this kind of tedium, but end up saving them several $100s a month, which is several $1,000s, a couple $1,000s a year. So it's well worth the 30 minutes or an hour once a year it takes to do it for you, or if you have some loved ones or even friends, neighbors that are on Medicare, to ensure that they're because on people on fixed incomes,
This means the world to them.
yeah, it can be huge.
And I also recommend if you do this, I would set up an account because you don't have to keep adding things. It saves. They already know your medications, they already know everything you take. If you do an account and if you have a pharmacy or if you set up an account and you have a pharmacy that sends information to the MIB, which is Medical Information Bureau, which is what everybody uses to tell, if you apply for supplement and you're past 65 or you're not just an automatic shoe-in,
Yeah, the Medical
whatever, you don't have
Information
to.
Bureau is just a clearinghouse of medical information
Thank
on
you.
everybody.
Yeah.
So it just all your medical
A lot.
data is fed into it.
And some pharmacies don't report, like Walmart didn't forever. And so we were like, if you have like a crazy drug you got to get, go to Walmart because they don't report. It was a
Catherine
thing.
Frazier, are
Mhm.
drug supplies guaranteed to someone on Medicare?
Part D is. Part D does not include medications in your hospital stay. That is included in your supplement.
So medications outside of the hospital are covered.
Mhm. On your Part
Also, in
D,
terms of
it has to be Part D. It's not in the hospital is covered by your supplement.
yeah. Also, in terms of guaranteed, I'm a little bit cautious about saying that now because several drug manufacturers are having trouble making sufficient supply. And
True.
even though the drugs may be covered, they may not be in supply. So we've heard several issues of people, running short on their drugs, not being able to get refills, that kind of thing. That's not a Medicare problem. That's a
No.
supply chain pharmaceutical problem. Some drugs like Ozempic, which is designed for diabetics, type 2 diabetics, a lot of people are trying to buy it for weight loss. So I think somebody was on the channel last week saying, leave that the hell alone. I need it.
Wait, did you take me off of sharing?
No, there you go. You're back.
I don't see it on the. Oh, thank you. All right. Anyway, so we went to health and drug plans, right? And we went to find health and drug plans, and they sent me straight to my drug list that I put in earlier. Done adding drugs. Don't care. We did the pharmacy thing. We checked all the boxes. Done. So, Blue Cross Medicare Essential Plus. It's an HMO. HMO is good. That means you have some options about, excuse me, who your doctor is. I'm sorry. Hang on. Sorry, I had a little burp. Your premium's nothing. Okay. Your drug and premium cost would be nothing for the rest of 2023. Your deductible is $150 for drugs, and the maximum you pay for health insurance is $3,950, and that is a great deal. If you can't afford a MedSup, you get zero. I don't know why I'm having issues. $0 copay for primary doctor specials, $24 copay per visit. That's
Now,
not
this
a bad
is not
deal.
a supplement.
No, this is an HMO. Okay, with a drug plan, and all of the drugs that are in it would not cost you a penny that we put in there that you saw. Health and drug coverage, there's no premium. It's not terrible.
So the Medicare website is recommending this coverage instead of a supplement and separate drug
No,
plan.
I didn't ask for a supplement at all.
Okay.
I just asked for an
Drug
advantage
plan.
plan.
Okay.
Advantage
Oh,
plan.
Advantage plan. I didn't know you were on
Mhm.
Advantage plans. Sorry.
This is 10 of 21 Medicare Advantage plans. Now, this could change in September and be a totally different thing. That's why you have to look every single freaking year, even for your SUPs. And SUPs, I don't have access to all that information right now. But anyway.
Well, do you take an Advantage plan and a SUP, an Advantage
No,
plan
you
or a
cannot
SUP?
have both at the same time. We might be able to do supplemental plans.
So you
There
shop
we
the
go.
SUPs or you shop the Advantage plan and then determine whether it's better than a SUP and a drug plan.
Okay, well, look at this. There's always going to be a loophole with your Advantage plans. Always. There's always going to be something else you have to pay.
Ellen, back up. You lost me now. I'm not clear on what the difference is between the Advantage and a SUP and a drug plan.
Well, they gave you like, shit. Hang on. A supplement is something that you buy, right? You pay monthly. And when you turn 65 or you first become eligible to get Medicare, like if your spouse is working and they have a job that has health insurance, or you're working yourself that has a job that has health insurance and you're 68, okay, you are automatically guaranteed to be, you don't have to go through any pre-qualification things to get a SUP. A
Okay.
SUP is a monthly price. Okay.
Too much in the weeds. I just want to know, what combination of plans do you get? Do you get A, B, and a sup? Do you get A, B, and an advantage? Do
You
you
have to
get
have A and B to get a
okay?
supplemental plan. Okay. A supplemental plan when you first start, it's like $100 a month. And you don't pay anything for medical besides that monthly payment. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like you go to the
Just
hospital and it's like a
just wondering what the
free.
what the combinations of the different plans are or ought to be. Everybody can
Okay.
figure out the price and pick out the choice that's best, but
Okay.
what are the choices?
Okay. You can get original Medicare, which you're paying 20% of almost everything, right? And then you can add a drug coverage to it. So that would be original Medicare part A, B, and D.
Okay.
Okay. And then you can get a Medicare supplement, which will pay for everything. There's no unknown costs, no hidden costs, no fees. You just pay a monthly premium, right? And then you get a part D, which is your drug cost.
Wait a minute. Why would you get a sup? Does it pay what A and B doesn't? Does it pay what the drug plan doesn't?
You don't have any, and I mean, you don't have any payments to a doctor. Like you go to the doctor, nothing. You don't have
Ellen,
any. Yeah,
does it
they're
pay what
nope,
A and B doesn't?
no. If if you've got your credits, I talked about that before, then A's paid. You're going to have to pay B no matter what. That's just part of the deal to be on Medicare. Okay. So
Okay.
you can sign up for a supplement, which is like $100 a month when you first get on. And that pays for all of your medical expenses. You don't have to wonder. There's no percentages. There's nothing you have to think about.
So you get the
It's,
supplement in addition to A and B and the drug plan.
well, okay, the supplement, yes. You have to have A and B, the supplement, and then you need to add a drug plan.
So where does an
But
advantage plan come in?
an advantage plan, you have to have A and B, okay, to get C, which is the advantage plan. C is A, B, and D, which is
Okay.
you still have to pay your B, okay? If your A is covered, it's covered. If not, you still have to pay A and you still have to pay for a drug plan, but it's all like in one package. And then there are maximum out of pocket. Some are up to like $14,000. That's where I think a supplement is way more beneficial because I mean, if you're paying $100 a month, that's $1,200 a year. If your maximum out of pocket with a C is $12,000, you could end up paying that $12,000 or $14,000 or $17,000. I've seen some that are more, but your medical is fixed with a supplement. You're never going to pay more than that premium for your medical.
And the same with an advantage?
No, no. The Advantage has co-payments and a maximum out of pocket typically. Well, they all have max out of pocket, and it's usually pretty high. But because I was searching for 2023 for this year, there's only a few more months left in the year. So it's a little bit wonky, and they're going to change them all next month.
Yeah, I'm just trying to help people understand what the different combinations are and how you pick those combinations. Which ones do you need? Which ones exclude the others? I don't think that's very clear.
Okay, C is A, B, well, it covers, okay, A is hospital, B is doctor. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
And D is drugs. So C, even though you still have to pay your premiums for B, and A if you don't
Don't
qualify.
worry about the premiums, just do
Okay,
the plans.
so it's still A, B, and D.
Okay.
It's still hospital, doctor, and drug. The supplement itself is hospital and doctor. You still have to have a drug coverage.
Okay.
And if you don't get a drug coverage, you will have to pay a penalty, depending on how long you wait to get drug coverage.
Okay. That's the nutshell. Good.
Okay. I'm sorry, I suck at this. I just
No, it's just there's so much to this, and we all
yeah,
have different
it's a lot.
ways of learning. I start off explaining the nutshell, and then I crack it open into different little pieces. Some
Well, throw me
people do it
questions
step by step.
because I don't know. I don't know what y'all want to know. Tell me. Tell
So
me.
far, there
Tell me.
really hadn't been too many questions.
Okay. Um. Now you got me off track. We can talk about spin downs.
Talk
Oh, and
about spin downs.
I highly recommend using Good RX. I don't know in which countries that it's accepted. Maybe I should go back to StreamYard. Um, I highly recommend Good RX. You can just like get a number or go online. You don't have to get an account or whatever. They will just give you coupons for medications, and it's really I mean, I have used that instead of my insurance sometimes. Let's put it that way. So,
Yeah, it's easy to check. It's just an app on your phone, and
mhm.
you know how much your insurance, what your insurance cost is going to be. And sometimes GoodRx is cheaper than that. So you've always got the choice with
Mhm.
GoodRx, insurance or the GoodRx price.
And when I would go through the Part D plans with people, I would usually go to GoodRx and see what they were charging. Because if there was a plan that was really, really good, except for this one drug, and GoodRx was charging like $4 for it, it's like, okay, we got to weigh out like what the best thing is. And that's what I want everybody to do is just weigh out like whatever the best option for you is, because everybody like it's simple and it's not. Okay. Okay.
Sorry,
It's
I was trying
simple.
to put up.
It's okay. It's simple, but it's not. And there are just so many little different things that can influence what's going on. Yeah, GoodRx is great.
Yeah, this is the GoodRx website. You just literally do what you did just on the Medicare website, type out the drug name and select pharmacy. And then it will like and it's that easy. You can get it for 25 from CVS. Here Walgreens is at 23, Harris Teeter's at 17, Costco 19, Sam's Club 8. So big difference in prices. And some of these prices might be less than your deductible.
Hmm.
So you were going to talk about the spin down.
Medicare spend down. Now, North Carolina changed its rules a couple years ago with the look back period, which is you can actually gift a lot of your assets to your family, friends, whoever you want to. Um, but it can't be within 7 years of you going into long-term care. So if you have parents or family that is going to go into long-term care, you think in the next 7 to 10 years, you might want to go ahead and look at dissolving their assets to some extent. The The countable assets, which is the ones that they can actually take from you, are cash, of course, bank accounts, properties owned other than your primary residence, unless you are the only one living there. If you are single and if you don't have any other family living in your house, they'll take your house too. Mutual funds, stocks, bonds, and life insurance policies with a cash value over 1,500. And the exempt assets are personal things like clothes, etc., or personal vehicles, and term life policies valued below $1,500. Furniture, appliances, personal items like jewelry, prepaid burial, and funeral expenses are the only things that they will not go after. But they will pretty much take everything you have because no one can, well, I wouldn't say no one. Most people can afford long-term health care, as in a nursing home where you're there, and it's about, I would say at least 2 years ago when I was doing all this stuff, it was about $150,000 a year to be in long-term health care.
150.
Mm-hmm. 90
Ouch.
to 150. It depends on. So
Whether
they
you want them
take
fed or not.
yeah. So they want that they will take everything that you've got to pay, because once, if you can't afford that, let's just say that you can't afford 100 and we're going to go with 150. I think it's like 125. We're going 150. If you can't afford that per year and you're expected to live there for 5 years, and that's just not something that you can do, but you have to have learned, lost 4 of your major functional things like going to the bathroom, feeding yourself, clothing yourself, um, cleaning yourself. Let's take those 4. Um, then you have to go into long-term home health care. And let's say you have a house that, you have a spouse. They get to keep the house. That's fine. But they will take every other asset you have in order to pay for how long they think you're going to be there.
KP says, "You're doing great, Ellen.
I'm not, but thank you. I suck at this,
You're
y'all.
doing good. You're you're doing good."
My brain
It
works
is just a
different. I'm all over the place.
complex. It's just a complex topic with a lot of tentacles going in different directions,
Hmm. Fair enough.
and this. It's hard to take this and present to a broad, diverse audience in a relatively quick manner.
Especially when I can't even see, like, even like, you can look at the scrunch on my face when you're presenting. I'm like, I'm just looking at the Medicare website. What's going on, man?
Yeah.
Hey, like, I can't see nothing.
And something for a presentation like this probably, you know, would help to have graphs, flow charts, something showing the different combinations and alternatives of plans with ranges of cost.
Well,
We
I
don't have the
had
ability to put something like that
some of
together.
that, but it was so complicated. Okay. Do you have
Yeah.
a home care option? That would be the Medicaid spend down. I mean, the Medicare spend down. They will just take everything you've got to put you in a home, and the government is very happy to do so.
But will they fund
Oh, home
care
care.
at home? Yeah.
Most do not. No, you have to have. I know I've sold a few policies for GTLSE, and they will take care of you at home. I know my grandfather has got 80 days. I think we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. He's got some built into his health insurance policy, but he will never go on Medicare because his health care is so good with his company. Um, he got an incredible deal. Um, but home health care options, I'm sorry, excuse me, for no, no, they just, they don't. We sell short term home health care policies, but no, they don't take care of you at home.
Yeah,
Nope.
Medicare does not offer that option.
No, no, ma'am. You got to pay for it yourself, or you have to have a supplemental policy to take care of that. That is just not, Medicare does not do that,
Which is kind of silly
unfortunately.
because it would oftentimes be more efficient and cheaper
Yeah, it would. But
than
they would
full
also,
nursing home care.
if you think about it this way, the average stay in nursing home is 3 years. So once you've lost the ability to take care of three of your faculties, your day to day things, um, and they have to put you in a long term care facility, they don't expect you to live more than 3 years. So that's over $300,000. And so if you don't have that just sitting in the bank account, then they're going to take everything you got. Sadly.
Yeah, KP says that's what I was thinking. Cheaper and more efficient. It would
And
be.
and people would live longer because they're in their own home and they're happier. Um, I'm with you there, KP. That is just it's kind of gross to
Yeah,
me
it's
that they
almost like
just
once you're in a nursing home, it's like you're just waiting to die
hmm
because they're not
that's how they
really,
look at it.
yeah, that's kind of the attitude. It's happening around you all the time. You're surrounded by death and by nurses that are around people dying all the time. I
hmm
don't think it's a very cheery or entertaining or active environment.
Mm-mm.
Probably even not that peaceful if somebody dies in the middle of the night. You've got all the clatter and uh, cots and people, running up and down the halls. So, um,
Well, that is like, I don't know about you, Clay, but I would rather die in a place that I was comfortable,
yeah,
that
I
I
want to die in my
knew,
own bed.
that was friendly.
Yeah.
Um, oh, the advertisements, they're the worst. Honestly, we just laugh.
Yeah.
As an insurance agent, or I was just like, this is just so ridiculous. Um,
Yeah. Gail says, I'm
because
get mad at the
Mhm.
Advantage plan adverts. They feature the low premiums without discussion on the limitations. And it's, like you've seen here, it's hard having a discussion on all the possibilities. Ellen is used to being with somebody one on one and knows exactly what their situation is and could take them directly, step by step through the process. But trying to offer, generic advice that may apply to people in all sorts of different situations is a little bit more complicated.
But if you guys have like anything, any questions, please email us. I will be glad, to go through your situation with you. I'm a little more intelligent, I promise, in that aspect. It's hard to like,
It has
let
nothing
me
to
vomit it all out. But
Yeah, it has nothing to do with you being more intelligent. You're intelligent as hell. It's just
thank you.
easier for you to offer specific suggestions or advice when you know what the hell is going on instead of
Okay.
all the different uncertainty and all the different possibilities.
I have to answer this. No, no, I don't. Um, I listen, I I was one. If you want to contact me, I'll be glad to help you. Um, a lot of times people get paid more for, can I say that?
Yeah. The
A
products
lot of
that benefit the agent the most are usually the
the ones
ones
they
that
make the
benefit
most
you
money
the
off of.
least.
Yeah,
And so, for a lot of agents, depending on their particular level of honesty, integrity, and any agent you have in your home is probably going to win over your confidence. That's what they do, they're pros at it. But the
that's
practical
why
reality is, oftentimes, insurance agents, their compensation is increased when they offer
with what they
products
sell
that
you.
benefit you less.
And that's why I got fired. I refused to do that. I just wouldn't bow down to the insurance gods. Um, I just,
Yeah, y'all
I
know
would rather help you than have somebody come into your house and just sell you a bag of goods.
yeah, y'all know Ellen has a sweet spirit, and there would be times when she would quote unquote leave money on the table or tell people to stay with what they had. It was better for them. That's that's not a good way to have a long and prosperous career in certain industries. So,
Nope.
but I tell you this, I trust her. I trust her implicitly.
Thanks.
She is as honest as the day is long, and she's sharp. She has a good mind.
Feel like it all the time, but yeah.
Sh she will definitely consider these things.
Mm-mm.
Catherine, they get hand and foot care
Well,
once every 6 weeks. They decided during the vid.
this one, look, it's nursing aid 3 times a
Uh,
day during the week and twice on the weekend. This is covered. A trainer. They didn't pay for physical therapy? Huh.
that's in Canada.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, my stepmom. Let me read it for everybody. My stepmom gets a
I'm
nursing
sorry.
aid 3 times a day during the week and twice on the weekend. This is covered. They get a house cleaning once a week. They pay for a trainer who comes in 3 times a week. To me, that would be a lot more, like we said, efficient and cheap than providing for in a
Hmm.
full-time nursing home.
Especially like occupational training too. It's just like, okay, how if I have this deficiency, how can I maneuver this thing that I have to do in my life? Like that's
Yeah.
useful.
Now the second one, they get hand and foot care once every 6 weeks. They decided during the vid that they wanted to die at home. It's cheaper for the government too. It's a no-brainer not to do it. It is an
I
absolute
would too.
no-brainer.
I mean,
But
it's just why in nursing homes, I don't know about Canada, but in US is it past 2 hours yet? No. It's a crapshoot. Let's put it that way. And it's you never know what you're gonna get. And some are good, some are really, really good, and some are really, really bad. And it doesn't matter how much it costs either way. Some of the ones that cost the least are really, really good, and some that cost the most are really, really bad. So it's a
and
hard,
unless you're in there all the time, it's really
you
hard to
won't
tell.
know.
If you go through and take a tour, everything will, seem copacetic. But you really got to, be there and live and see what it's like off hours outside of the tourist time, and
Yeah, I mean,
go
it's
into the
like,
sections you don't tour.
yeah, when I was a hairstylist for 14 years, I mean, I was one of those weirdos that cleaned everybody else's stuff because I didn't want to have the salon shut down. um, because everybody else was not as sanitary, I guess. Um, and there was a hairstylist I worked with who left a nail file in her comb drawer, which is like, you can't do that. You just can't do that. That is not, You don't leave a nail file you've used in the drawer, a comb drawer. Anyway, it's like, it's just easier to clean up other people's crap sometimes. I don't know where I was going with this. I was reading other
Well,
things.
well, Bingo Pack has a good summary. C equal
Yeah.
A plus B plus D, where C is an advantage plan. A is hospital, B is doctor, D is
Mm-hmm.
RX.
Mm-hmm.
So if you get A and B and a supplement, you need D.
I think I had that on here. I don't know if you can see it.
Somewhere.
I knew all this. Is all
All
three.
right.
Yep. Yeah. I didn't say it that gracefully, but yeah.
You did fine.
Thank you,
Catherine,
Bengal.
my dad gets a break while my stepmom goes to a senior center and a therapist visits my stepmom once a week for 3 hours.
Hmm.
I want to say psycho. Physio is covered, but the fitness program isn't. She has Alzheimer's.
Oh.
I am sorry to hear that. My mom had Lou Gehrig's, and it was to me those are two very very difficult conditions. Bingo pack. Caution with GoodRx or discount plans that are similar. Anything you pay under
Mm-hmm.
GoodRx will not apply towards your RX benefits, your deductible, true copays, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good
That's
point.
correct. It is, but
So,
at the same time, if you're going to pay $300 for a med, or you're going to pay $4 for a med.
yeah, no, it's a good point to be aware of.
Mm-hmm.
What you end up saving initially or in the year, early in the year, may cost you more by the end of the year if you would have met your deductibles and Medicare, Medicaid. I mean, Medicare starts picking all of it up, or your SUP starts picking, or your drug plan starts picking it
Well,
all up.
there's that whole disastrous gap period that we'll talk about in a whole nother stream, but that's in between when you spent so much and then you have to pay almost full price and then you pay nothing. It's weird. It's the gap.
Yeah.
It's not meta gap. It's the drug gap.
But when if you are faced with this, again, it's going to vary depending on what individual combination of
Mm-hmm.
drugs are involved and the amounts, the timing. So, if you have any questions, like she said, contact Ellen. There are sometimes, here we've got a family center that has an individual who helps advise on Medicare, Medicaid. She's not an agent, not licensed, doesn't get paid for it. I mean, gets paid by the county for her time, but her
Who? What?
advice is not dependent upon any compensation.
Who's that?
I don't know her name.
Oh,
I met her. And so, sometimes you can find somebody like that doesn't have a
mm-hmm.
financial interest in getting you signed up for a particular plan. And I'm not
Yeah.
saying all
Well,
insurance agents are bad or corrupt.
senior
There's
centers
some good
usually
ones out there.
the senior centers usually they are infiltrated by insurance agents.
And they may be. And you just need to be aware of where this person's compensation is coming from. If they're being compensated by a company to place its product that may or may not be in your best interest, you want to be aware of that. It doesn't mean their advice will be wrong, but
No, and
you want to be
that's
aware
why.
of where their bread is buttered.
Well, that's why I want to seriously like advise people on Medicare.gov, because honestly, that is one of the best places that you're going to get information on any plan that you want, and probably the cheapest. And no, oh, yay, thank you. And you can do it within 6 months, and you can lock in the price um, for a med sup. I know. Um, so don't be afraid to do that, within 6 months of your birthday, because it's usually going to be cheaper ahead of time. Of course, the economy is crazy, so I don't know exactly how that's going to affect it, but seriously, just please use Medicare.gov. That is what most insurance agents use. I mean, we have like Agent Accelerator and other things that we would use, but Medicare.gov is where we went for most of it. So,
And it's available to you. It's a little tricky to get through.
mm-hmm.
And that's why Ellen, walked you through it or walked us through it.
Sorta, I think. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I did, but I tried.
But her offer is not an empty one. If you have some
Mm.
questions or problems, email us, email her, Moffat on Money at
Gmail.
gmail.com, and she'll be glad to try to help you. Catherine, you're sometimes better off with a good pharmacist than a cheap one. They're often better at judging your pharmaceuticals than a doctor. I know years ago in this country, there was talk about, doctors make rounds in the mornings to talk with their patients, maybe adjust their meds or whatever. And pharmaceuticals were getting there were getting to be so many and so many different complications, possible complications, so many alternatives that it was getting increasingly difficult for doctors to stay on top of. And there was some talk about just having doctors retain a pharmacist to go with them on their rounds and to consult on correct pharmaceuticals or the best pharmaceutical combination.
May I say something? Because there are many doctors that don't know adverse effects when they mix medications. When I was growing up, my grandfather, his neighbor Everett, died because the pharmacist or the doctor prescribed medications that adversely reacted to everything combined that was going on with him. And that is, doctors are not pharmacists. So, Catherine, you're right. And pharmacists are not doctors, but pharmacists know the combinations and the chemicals in each of the substances they're giving you and how good they are for you and not. So I recommend using the same pharmacist no matter where you go because they know everything that you're on. And a lot of that information is not shared between pharmacies. So there's my piece on that. Sorry.
Nope. Good advice. Anybody have any other questions? It is to me, it's an unnecessarily complex area. I think complexity and confusion generally only increase the cost.
Mm-hmm.
I obviously am a big advocate of a simpler, cleaner medical system. Our system is in many ways as screwed up as you can get. Now, we have our strengths. There's no better place to get advanced care in the world. There's no better place to do medical research or innovate. But we certainly have our issues and major issues at that. So it's a screwed up system.
It's more complicated than it needs to be because of all of the too many hands, too many cooks in the kitchen. Let's put it that way.
KP, I've been enjoying listening tonight. Really good information. Glad to know it's not impossible to figure out. It is not. It's a little tedious, and you get by with a little help from your friends.
Yeah, and
We
Clay
all
and I
do.
are both. Yeah, Clay and I are both licensed agents. So, as much of it was just a sadder system than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, and let me issue a proper clarification. I never sold insurance. I did take the exam. I've taken a bunch of different exams. I've taken most of the standardized tests, law school, LSAT, whatever, GMAT, GRE. What's the aptitude test? I forget the initials. Anyway, you get I test for a hobby. So
he thinks it's fun.
Yeah, and it's a good way to learn. You have to study and have some familiarity with the material on some of the licensing tests. So long ago, I've taken the life, health,
Medicare,
and PNC.
Oh, you did
So
PNC too?
years ago
Oh,
when I
didn't know
was
that.
consulting. So
This is why I call him my absent-minded professor.
I
He
have
can't
I have
shut
my
a he can't shut a drawer or a door to save his life. I go in the kitchen, everything's open.
now I have gotten
No,
better.
you are the absent-minded professor. You know this. Do not deny that.
I have gotten better. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, when I had town, he sent me a picture of every single cabinet and drawer and door and dishwasher and pantry, everything open. He was just like, just thought you might miss this. Like, so nothing's getting done. Oh,
Catherine,
well,
are healthcare costs deductible on your income tax? Yes
if
and
you
no.
pay if you pay more than 10% of your total income in healthcare, then that whatever's
Portion,
above 10% is deductible.
yes, yes. So for most people, their healthcare costs are not. If you have a really bad year in terms of paying your deductibles, copays, or whatever, and are middle or lower income, you probably can deduct a chunk of it. Again, a stupid system.
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't reward those.
Yeah, we
Who have
generally
done well.
pretty much manage to screw up most anything our government can get its hands on.
Someday it's gonna
Ta-
change.
Taxes are ridiculous. How, in my opinion, how can the government force a requirement on the average and ordinary common citizen that the average ordinary common citizen can't understand and do completely accurately by themselves? And then because it's so complex, they can get charged fines and penalties for not doing it accurately.
Mhm.
If they, even if they hire, professional assistants, it's ridiculous. Taxes ought to be on like a postcard. You have your
Yeah.
income. Maybe you get to deduct interest for one home. You get to deduct charitable contributions. You get a deduction for your family, kids, wives, however many wives you got, whatever. Deduct them all.
Huh?
And everybody can do that. Everybody can understand that. Boom. You have a flat tax. Boom. I'm obviously a flat tax supporter.
All right,
But yeah,
Melissa, gonna make sure my parents watch this. Well, I think that anyone who is anywhere close to retirement needs to know everything. And like, I don't know everything. Have your parents email me, like I said, moffatonmoney@gmail.com. Um, I'm happy to help. I know I sound stupid right now, but I was very nervous about doing this. So,
yeah. Ellen is not very comfortable sometimes talking in front of a crowd. And y'all are a crowd. How cool is that?
not even one bit, especially when I can't even see anybody's reactions or what's going on. I'm like, I'm looking at the Medicare website. This is fun. And I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, and I
So,
can name that tune in
uh,
one note because I remember, starting this. I'm like looking at a
you're
at a
sweet.
screen and a monitor, trying to carry on a one-sided conversation. I felt like an insane guy. Put me in an asylum. It's a little different environment. It takes a little getting used to. And part of the thing that helps is y'all. Ain't gonna lie. Y'all's encouragement, your fellowship, your
Yeah.
sweetness, getting to know you. It's kind of, and increasingly is like I'm actually talking to friends. And Ellen usually is just, throwing out the wisecracks and giving me hell.
That's my favorite part, you know? Thank you. You're
But
rocking it. I appreciate that, Melissa. You are so freaking kind. We've
but
going to word things a bit differently, Clay.
What things? You're honestly, you're not the first person to say that.
How many times do I call you an a-hole?
A bunch.
Yeah.
Buku.
But
I've been called an a.
he also says, I'm an a-hole. I'm like, yeah, you are. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll move on.
But I'm a sweet a-hole.
You are.
Because I don't kick people when they're down. If I like them, I'll give them hell. Now, if I don't like you, I don't do anything with you. I don't talk to you. I don't direct anything to you. I just pretty much ignore you. But if I like you, I'm going to give you hell. You know, I walk into a class and see a male student that I'm kind of friends with, and I go, turn the corner, there he is. I go, damn it, you're still ugly as hell. What's that like to wake up to every day? Or,
whoa. How about I get out of bed or get off the couch because that's where I fell asleep last night, right? And I just kicked Tallulah by accident because I had a night terror. And I get up and I get some coffee and I walk out onto the porch and Clay's like, hey, let's go test your computer on how we're going to do with Medicare tonight. And I'm like, no, I'm not even awake yet. Leave me alone. He's like, how about now? How about now? How about now? I'm like, Clay, I'm going to kill you. No. Am I wrong?
So 6 hours later, she's like, oh, we don't need to do that. We all know better now.
Testing. I was like, what are we testing? He's like, if you can share a screen. I was like, I think we all know I can share a screen because.
Which we found out tonight, there was a learning curve. So.
I shared. I did my things.
Eventually.
Well, I forgot to share it sometimes, but that's not.
So, but yeah,
No, Clay's awesome. I love him to pieces. He is the best human.
No.
If you're a bad human, you don't want to cross him. I'll tell you that. Or if you are threatening a human he loves, you don't want to go there either.
Yeah, I had one of my coaches tell me I had the gift of fury.
I agree.
So I am modestly protective of people I love.
Yeah, there was our neighbors who, bless them, they had some people come over and park in their space today, and they parked kind of into our space, our parking area. And they were like, is it okay that we park here? I was like, well, can Clay get his truck out? They're like, I don't know. I was like, let me just go ask him, because I'm not going to be the person to say that you're fine and he can't get out. Gift of fury, love it. He does. He has it. He has a gift of fury and compassion, which is a complicated twist.
It's a simple twist.
It's a complicated twist.
Just don't threaten the ones I'm compassionate towards.
That is true. Or you will get the fury.
Are you going to finish the story? Sorry. Or did you just drift off there?
I was done.
Oh, okay. I thought that had a point.
I thought I said I brought you out because that was your decision, not mine. That was the whole thing. Never mind.
Okay. Yeah, and I'm like, no, I got plenty of room. Y'all go ahead. Because, we live on an island and lots are small. which good or bad, I don't have a yard really to take, that I have to spend a lot of time to take care of. Flip side is my neighbors away. Now, the houses are designed so that the windows don't line up. So it's not like you're looking out of your window into somebody else's. But, sometimes parking can be a little tricky. So you just, no reason to get upset. Some people get real picky, real upset. Your tires over on my parking pad, or, it's just not worth it.
It's
just
not.
not worth it.
However, I don't know if we would have felt that way if it was owners of the house, but
Yeah,
just
I
saying.
would have.
You would have?
Yeah,
Well, I'm
anybody.
proud of
Yeah, it's
you.
just life's just life's just short. Not going to
That
get all
is
that.
very short.
Yeah, as long as they're not doing any damage to my truck, they have a little bit of an inconvenience. That's not an inconvenience on me. So,
That's my
Melissa,
truck in
right
my
there with you,
drive.
Clay. We just protect those things we value. If
Mm-hmm.
we can't do that, particularly as a guy, if I can't do that, if I don't at least try to do that, I'm just not much of a man.
Clay, you know you are man.
Now, I'm saying if I don't do that or if I don't try,
You do.
uh, I think it's incumbent upon us to try to, take care of the widow, the orphan, try to defend the weak from the evil. Um, and I don't bounce like I used to, not as quick as I used to be, maybe a little smarter than I used to be, but uh, just hope that I'm always willing.
Well, if you go on Clay's Instagram, you will find a picture of my reaction to Clay saving me from his own alarm. Where's the grin?
My own
Actually,
alarm.
remember when you were like, I'm going to go find out what's going on out there?
Oh, geez.
I peed my pants laughing. It was
Yeah,
his
we were on
alarm
the
that was
front
going off.
porch on an evening, and sounds carry weirdly around here. They really do. It's hard to tell the direction from them. And we heard a home alarm going off, and we're, friends with all the neighbors in the hood, and heard this
This is the second time I've been at your house ever.
home alarm going off. And I thought, that sounds like it's coming from down the street. I ought to go check. So I'm in the front porch swing. And so I
I'm
get
with
up
you.
and start walking and, pass across the front door. And the direction of the sound changes. It no longer sounds like it's coming from down the street. It's coming from right by my door. It's the alarm inside the house. It was my house.
That's not how it happened.
That's pretty close to it.
It's close, but that's not how it happened.
Oh, I went inside to grab a
firearm
mechanism of self-defense. I don't know what I can say on YouTube.
Because he was going to protect me. And I was going to go with him. And he told me not to, that I should just stay right there. And he opened the door and it was his own alarm. And I fell on the floor laughing and literally peed myself. It was so damn funny. Yeah.
So yes, there's a picture of her on the ground, laughing in tears, peeing in her pants.
It was hilarious. Y'all don't understand. Like, he was being so protective and it's so endearing. But then when you realize it's his own house, it just sort of took a new meaning.
I will admit that was a modestly embarrassing moment,
That was
especially when I
hilarious.
opened the door and it started screaming right at me.
Oh my god. Oh Lord, I messed up the stool. That was so damn funny.
I
I'm
don't even
sorry, but that was
remember
hilarious.
what. I don't even remember what triggered it. Do you?
No, I have. It was like it couldn't have been a door. It had to. I don't even know what it. Fire alarm.
Maybe a
I don't
door
know.
blew open.
Maybe, but it was freaking hilarious. I thought it was.
Yeah, sometimes the garage door, you push it too, but it doesn't latch good. And so, wind shift, pressure changes or whatever, it may pop open a little bit, set off the alarm. I don't remember. So,
It was really. I mean, I was dying, and Clay thought it was funny enough to record it. So,
Catherine, my brother lives in North Vancouver. The dog busted out this morning to chase a black bear off the front yard and down the street. Worst wake up ever. The dog is fine.
oh, good Lord.
What
No
kind of dog
kidding.
was it?
Oh, good
What kind
Lord.
of dog? I mean, I've actually seen where a cat slaps a big old alligator and the alligator retreats. That to me was hilarious. That was epic. I've also seen where a little barking yappy dog tries to attack an alligator and the results aren't what the little dog wanted.
Wasn't so happy, was it?
No. But
That is hilarious. Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
Need video of that.
Wait, the
Need a
black
pic.
bears are the more aggressive than the brown,
No,
right? I have
no.
it backwards.
Brown are more
Okay.
aggressive.
Okay.
Bigger, stronger, faster, a little bit more
Bigger,
temperamental.
stronger, bigger, stronger, faster, whatever. There's a song.
Kind of like Chunk. Bigger, stronger, faster.
No, Chunk. Oh, they're downstairs. Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
I
Chunk is
love my
actually
dogs.
pawing at my door.
You
I
have
think
left
he's
them out the whole
yes, that's
time?
how I've been able to have a nice, peaceful conversation here. It's
Oh
normally
my
not be
God.
possible.
They're usually up here with me, driving me
I know.
nuts. And so you left. Oh, Clay.
Yep. Gail had a house where a sharp clap of thunder shook the window and set off the alarm.
Yeah, I don't
You
know
know,
what happened that night. It was weird.
yeah, we have what do you call it?
Mm.
I can't think of the name.
What?
The big sounds like a howitzer going off, cannon fire.
Sonic booms.
No.
Yeah.
It's Seneca cannon.
Well, yeah. Sonic boom. Kind of same
Yeah.
thing.
Seneca cannon. It's a sound. It literally, if you've ever heard a 155 millimeter howitzer fire a shell and you're 100 feet away, that's literally what it sounds like. It's this huge, deep boom, and you can feel it.
Mm-hmm. The whole
There
ground
is
shakes.
there is no explanation for it, but it occurs just at random times and events around here. I've been
Mm-hmm.
here since '08 and I've heard three of them. So there's no rhyme or reason to it. There's no geologic event. They
No
haven't been able to
earthquakes.
figure out or trace the sound. Sometimes it's close, like literally it sounded like the howitzer going off. One time I heard it in the distance. It's weird. Don't know what it is.
I
Seneca
wonder if
guns.
yeah. I wonder if it's like, I don't know. I'm not going to be creepy. Never mind. About ghost
We
ships and such.
we know the breed, a Portuguese
He's
water dog.
water dog. Well, open the door and chase a bear. Clay, you
Pardon?
there? You there?
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Got to show off a
Oh, gee.
Portuguese water
Oh,
dog.
yes. Ta-ta-ta. We forgot, didn't we?
There it is.
Hi,
That is
honey.
an affable looking pup right there. Smart enough to open the door and fast enough to chase a bear. Hopefully not fast enough to actually catch it.
It looks like the biggest Toulouse and chunk mix I've ever seen.
It does, with a little curlier hair, but yes, it does. Very
Isn't that
cute.
sweet?
Now that's not actually the hero in question, but a picture of the breed. Can't say I've ever remember seeing one or familiar with them, so I thought I would throw that up.
Ah, but we do have, did you show the dog
Yes, we
from,
did Tuesday.
okay, just making sure we're on top
Rufus,
of it.
smiling
I
owl.
know I was in and out at that
Yeah.
point in time.
And if you have, pup and you want to show off your baby, send us the pics. We love it. We had one night where we were just throwing them up during the night. A couple people missed that show or have maybe joined later. So, the pups, the babies need attention. So we
They
try to
do.
share a little bit of the limelight with them there. And speaking of attention, mine are kind of wanting some attention. And it
Is it time?
is a little bit about that time.
Okay, I just want to
So
say thank you guys. Thank you so much for being here, for the super chats, your goofballs, and the memberships. Thank you. We don't expect any of that. We were just happy to kind of hit that mark on YouTube, just saying like, okay, we did something. We've made some kind of impact as far as YouTube is concerned, but we appreciate you guys so much and thank you for
very much.
everything.
Seriously, appreciate y'all being with us here tonight. We're thankful for the opportunity to be with you. Our time is up. We thank you for yours. Good night.
Thanks, guys. Good night.